Hey vinyl community, Steve here, FlipSideCT, and I had mentioned and been mentioning I was going back out to California. That's what this video is about, but it's a trip to California, and in Portland, Oregon. Had some business there, but made sure I went to some record stores. That's what this video is about, my experience there, some store footage, and a little bit about my trip excursion. Hopefully you hang in there. I just wanted to share with you. Fast forward if it's, does no interest to you, but hopefully you do. I went out there with my wife. This was back in May, and this was Mother's Day weekend. We arrived and seeing my daughter and spending time with her, and arrived on a Saturday and got the car, told my wife what I was hoping I could do, and she was with me on it, and we went right to a record store called Beatbox, and I showed Beatbox in my San Diego excursion part 1. A little store, but kick-ass. It doesn't have to be a big store. These little stores could have the intimacy, the owners interacting, and just quality. If you're on San Diego, check him out. He's really cool. And I also wanted to get the fish tacos right down the corner. So, mission accomplished. And so I got in, and just fun place. I didn't want to take too much time from my wife, being we just got there. And San Diego, and I was looking around and I saw this album, and I've been wanting this, and I started thinking, well, I got to make sure I have enough money with me for my other stores. So I played this, and my wife says, I like that, I like it. I said, all right, I'll get it. It was about $18, and this is J.J. Cale's first album, Naturally. This is from, I believe, I got to cheat, 72. So J.J. Cale actually was in a band with Leon Russell before he went solo. The Leather Coated. But anyway, this album, the songs, these are what set him famous, and people copied and just excelled from here with his songs, and the lineup is just huge here, and a lot of players. And this is cool. It's smooth. It's just relaxed. It's J.J. Cale. That's what it's about. Call Me the Breeze, I didn't realize had a drum machine in it. And 72, so that was pretty interesting. I looked that up. Very, like I said, I've been wanting it. I got the thumbs up with it from my wife, and jumped on it. Got our tacos, waited in a long line, so well worth it for fish tacos there. Went back in, the owner was there this time, and he's cleaning records and pricing new ones. And you know how you go into some stores and some owners are doing it, or they're pricing records and they're not sharing, or they're not exposing. I could get it. I can understand some of them not wanting to do it. But then again, you got ones like Bernie, who's wanting to share. I mean, I could buy some if I was interested, and he was saying, yeah, I'm just pricing these, look at these, I didn't price these yet. That's just so cool. That's awesome. That's what a store owner should be doing, and bringing you in and making a friend for life. So he had one, and that I really liked, and I've been wanting, and I talk about, and Chet Baker, 1959 Chet. $6. This has a rip here. I have no idea. I'm sure it's a reissue. Riverside, but it sounds great, awesome, and I just grabbed it. Excuse me. And it was fantastic. So we interacted, we talked, and I just had to move on. what I do a lot is I pick up these little flyers. I'm sure you see these at the record stores, you know, advertisements for shows, all sorts of things. So I pick these up and I put them usually inside my records. They're fun things to see when you know, several months, a year from now. So it was Mother's Day. The next day, went with my daughter and my wife to this beautiful flower fields in Carlsbad. We just had a blast. I took my wife down to La Jolla, so the seals, showed them. Took a ride up north along the water, Encinitas, and just cool places, just fun. It's just fantastic. I love it there. Their Spin Records is in Carlsbad. I knew I wanted to go back there. I had spoken to the guy last time I was there. I was looking for a dream pop type album with a woman singer, sort of like what Cocteau Twins are, that style. He recommends something. I didn't pick it up when I was back there in March. I called him up before I left. I said, "Is that still there?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "I'll be there, and you don't need to hold it on." It's Julie Cruz, Julee. She plays, her song was in the Twin Peaks, David Lynch. That sort of dreamy, spooky, esoteric type music from 1989. This is the album called Floating Into the Light, but she has the opening theme for Twin Peaks. Also, she has a song, Mysteries of Love, in Blue Velvet, the movie with Dennis Hopper. You have to know that movie. And I remember that's how I got introduced to her, but I didn't know who she was until now. Everything just meshed and clicked. Very, like I said, very melodic and just a little slower. Not for everybody. My wife didn't like it, so I'm sure a lot of you folks don't. But that was pretty on the money for me. So we decided we were going to take a train rather than fly up and spend more money. Took the train up to from LA to Portland. It's about a 39-hour ride, 36-hour ride, the Amtrack. Long, yeah. When I was 16, I traveled all through Europe with my brother. Eurail Pass, just a pass you could use to go and train anywhere in Europe. And I got to see some wonderful things. So I know train rides, you could really get to see some wonderful things. And Starlight Express, I think it's called, with Amtrak, is a bucket list for a lot of people. I didn't realize it. And because of the beauty, it goes from like San Diego up to maybe Vancouver. And you get to see things that normal paths or roads you don't go on. It's not cars, it's trains. So you're hugging the road, you're hugging the coast right by the water. You know, it's just right down there is the ocean. You're going through these valleys. Anyway, so I paid a few dollars for some business class. I think it was like $120, $150. It was business class seats, which were a little bigger. You know, I was able to do it. We were very happy that we did it. We didn't have a sleeper car. We just slept in the seats. Yeah, it's a long hours, but I tell you, I brought books. I brought things with me to read. I didn't open one thing. Everything was just looking out the window. That's what it's about. It's just beautiful seeing America, parts that you never seen before. So man, it was just wonderful. So we went to LAX, dropped our car off, took a lift, and we got into to Union Station, drove through some of the Skid Row, the tent cities along LA streets where the homeless are. That was definitely heart-touching. I don't want to go too much into that, but the West Coast has a lot of homeless and a lot of issues, I know, and it really touches you. It's anyway, I started doing some research on the homeless, and it was just interesting what's going on over there. And then also on train hoppers, how it's still big. You know, people jumping on freight trains against the law, of course. But I think it must have been would be cool, you know, back in my younger days to do something like that and see the countryside. So it goes through the valley by LA. I never saw that area. And then all of a sudden it takes you over along the coast, and you're going up through Santa Barbara, and you're just seeing some beautiful, beautiful sights. You're right next to the water. I took pictures and you know, some videos. So you know, just seeing that coast is just wonderful. It's like a perfect model. And then you go inland more into the valleys of where the agriculture and farms are, the farming, and you know, all the vegetables and fruits that grow there, and it's so huge what's going on there. And I just loved it. It was just colorful. It was spring, so it was still colorful. It wasn't dry, and the colors just stood out, and the beauty and the mountains and the hills, and driving through the small towns. And you did see homeless too, you know, sleeping on the sides, the little camps. People, a lot of people working, little farms with the big houses in the middle, but you have the little workers, little villages that they have there, you know, free room and board, I guess. That's another topic, I guess, with you know, some of the workers. Anyway, so like I said, 39 hours, it was a lot. There was a eating car, and you had to make reservations, and the food was good and beautiful thing to do. You sit down with people you don't know across from you, so if you're uncomfortable with that, forget it. So it was interesting. We met this older couple, and he was real interesting, and he was very right-wing, and it was interesting to hear some of his rationale. I won't go further. It's not a topic to be discussing. And there is also another car, which is a common car where everyone could go, and big windows, and you could sit and spin around. And oh, did I say spin? That was Spin Records from Carlsbad. Gosh. Oh, and oh yeah, so I wanted to make sure I saw Mount Hood, was it? I think it's Hood. And just as soon as I woke up, boom, there it is. Just gorgeous. I woke my wife up. It was like 6 in the morning, and the sun was just coming up. So we just loved it. Just, you could see the Cascades and the mountain ranges. Just beautiful. I mean, it's just breathtaking. Into Portland, and I planned things out. I scoped it out. I knew some of the stores I wanted to go to, spoke to people, and there's a lot there. It's laid out. There's lists and things that you could check things out to see what stores. But I had a plan. I took a bike the next day. I drove out, and off I go, and pedaling away, getting some coffee, some breakfast by myself. Wife was out doing some of the work in Portland. I had a show, and I go to Jackpot Records, and I really dug it. A younger fellow was there, a nice, you know, size store, good quality records. I'm not going to say it was killer stuff. They had some good things on the wall, but I would go back to this one, and here's some video footage.
Probably heard something from their new album, Unknown Pleasures, on the Finger Shop.
At the time when we started in Manchester, there were 3 or 4 other groups, the new wave sound. Yeah, there seems to be a lot more. I think in Manchester, like a few years ago,
Did you ever want to be signed by an agency?
Yeah, when we started, I mean, when we started on this, everybody's wild ambition to be the next Beatles or something like that.
What did I get? I got, I've been wanting to get the Fabulous Wailers, 1964, tall, cool one, a comp, Louie Louie. Hey, Jimi Hendrix listened to this band from Seattle. I think most of you know that. And this is just an awesome album for me to have, a comp. And it's $15, I'm just looking here. And the store was cool. They had a lot of paraphernalia. I'm looking at it. Jackpot. Here's another album I got. Barry Goldberg's. I talk about him. He played with Dylan. He played with Electric Flag. Played with Bloomfield. And this is his band. This is a comp from '72, I think. And I don't remember everything. '71. Blast from the Past. I mean, look at who's on here. Danny Whitten, Neil Young, Danny Whitten, Dwayne Allman, Harvey Mandel, Musselwhite. Wonderful album. I enjoyed that. $6 only. Grabbed it. Then I go to a bike ride to another store, and just a few miles away. And here it is. So the guy wasn't so interactive. I didn't get anything. I couldn't find anything. I tried. But I did just want to show the store there. You know, this one was a smaller one, but didn't have the quality. Hey, you know, for someone else maybe. And that's what I got. So I got part maybe 2, definitely maybe a part 3, but I got some other fine stores that I went to. Really impressed with 2, 3 of yeah. So hopefully you can check out the other videos, Portland, part 2, part 3, who knows. And I thank you for watching. Hopefully you got something out of here. And if you hung in there with me, hey, cool, I appreciate it. Any new subscribers, thank you. I just got to mention that. You know, I appreciate when people watch, and especially when people comment. I will say that I do appreciate the comments when I hear it, because it makes it worthwhile, and I tell people that, and I try to acknowledge everybody. I think I do a pretty damn good job with it. I would say 99.9% of acknowledging people. Real important to for me to do that, because anyway, hey, talk to you soon. We'll go show you more tours and stores.